All right. Congratulations on making this far. We're still in the discipline section. Right. So we talked about the first step of discipline, doing what you're supposed to do, when you're supposed to do it, whether you feel like it or not relying on motivation. We're going to push past that, take it to another level. Then we talked about sacrifice. We talked about the things you're going to have to give up to accomplish your goals. And we went over the fact that if you're not willing to sacrifice for your goals, then your goals become the sacrifice. And now we're going to talk about what I think is the most important topic when it comes to success, especially extreme success, right? Is relentlessness, right? Because a lot of things are going to get in your way. A lot of things are going to get in your way, and we're going to get into it. Relentlessness. You got to be relentless. I have it. This is just so important. What we're going to go into that the word relentless is tattooed on my arm. You don't have to go that hard. You don't have to go that hard. I'm honest with you. That's the next level. But I'm just dedicated. This was a way of me cementing my allegiance to relentlessness. Right. So check this out. What is relentless? What does it even mean? What are you even talking about, Brandon? You're crazy. What are you talking about? All right, let's get into it. The dictionary definition: relentless. Someone who is relentless is determined to do something and refuses to give up, even when what they are doing is unpleasant or cruel. Ooh. Let me read that again. Someone who is relentless is determined to do something and refuses to give up, even if what they are doing is unpleasant or cruel. Let me show you an example of what that means, right? So, for example, my girlfriend. She's beautiful, as you can see, right? Stop looking at her. I'm just playing. Anyway, a lot of times she'll be like, oh, you can just eat this today. You can just eat this. Oh man, you can eat, this cake won't kill you just one time. It won't kill you. And I look at her crazy, right? Well, I don't look at her crazy. I think in my mind, I look at her crazy. In reality, I just like, nah, I'm not doing that. So she always tries to get me to do something that's goes against my game plan for success, right? Whether it be eat something or on New Year's, like, oh, you can have one drink. You can have one drink. I was like, no, I don't drink. This is a standard. And people in your life are going to do that all the time. It's not just her. And that's not to talk bad about her. You know what I'm saying? She's an awesome girl, right? This is just what people are going to do. People are going to say, hey, man, oh, you work so hard on your business. You can go out tonight. You can do this. One night won't kill you. Shut up. You don't shit about success. All right. It will kill you. It will kill you. You got it because you just have a standard. That's like saying, oh, you don't have to brush your teeth today. No, I have a standard to have fresh breath, right? I have a standard for personal hygiene. I have a standard of excellence. You already have standards, right? But people are going to try to stop you. Oh, you can go out. You can do this. It's going, especially in the beginning, it's going to be really, really hard. And she says, oh, let's go here. Let's do this. I'm like, I gotta be sleeping now. I gotta be sleeping at 10. And it bothers her sometimes, right? But she can leave. I'll break up with her at any moment. If any of this is a deal breaker, I'll break up. You need to have that same attitude. Because remember, it's even when it's unpleasant or cruel, right? She can, if you want to break up, she can go find another 6'2" millionaire with 5% body fat, right? You know what I'm saying, to date. But it's she sees the benefits, right? She doesn't have to work, right? She doesn't work. I take care of all the bills, you know what I'm saying, pay for everything, help her and her family out, buy her designer stuff all the time. So she sees the benefits, she gets it, right? But you're gonna have that, man. A spouse, a friend, family members are going to tell you, oh, you can just relax. I am relentless. You got to be relentless to accomplish the goals. Oh, once won't kill you. You may be thinking that it will. Because every time you lower your standards, it becomes easier to lower that standard. It's not a standard if you lower it. Remember, you got to raise your standards, right? Here's an example. The day we were on this boat, she had one of her friends on there. She's a pretty girl too, and they wanted to go to some like after hours club. They got like drunk on the boat. I don't drink, but I encourage my girlfriend to drink as often as possible. And they were having fun, and they wanted to go somewhere. We're going to this party. I'm like, nah, I got to get up. In the morning. And she was like, oh, we can just go. This one night won't kill you, won't hurt you. You already got a lot of money. I was like, listen, you can go. That's cool, man. Guys, have a great time. I got to wake up in the morning. Relentless. Right. And look at those two girls. I wanted to go. They were drunk. It would have been fun. Right. But it's not even just that. It's like also like, this picture breaks my heart. because I remember I spent a lot of time with my son. I scheduled it, right, and it was time for me to go because remember I gotta wake up early. I gotta do it every day, right? Not just one time, every day. And he wanted to play some more. He brought me my shoes because he wanted me to put them on and take him to the park. I was like, listen, buddy, I gotta go. And it really, like, you see how sad he was, and it made me sad too. Honestly, it made me sad. I didn't enjoy disappointing a toddler, right? But remember, relentless is someone who's determined to do something and refuses to give up, even when what they are doing is unpleasant or cruel. This was unpleasant and cruel. It was unpleasant for me and it was cruel, right? You know, he cried when I left. He cries every time I leave. He loves his dad, right? But I had to do it. Now, here's the thing, though. Even though he wanted me to do it in the moment, it's better because I'm relentless. For example, when his mom was laid off during the pandemic, right? I was like, listen, we're not together, but his mom was laid off. And I was like, listen, don't worry about it. You don't have to worry about nothing. Just stay home. It's cool. Take care of the boy. I'll pay for everything, all the bills. I'll pay for the nanny. Everything's cool. Because I was relentless this whole time. So I had enough wealth accumulated to handle that. It was nothing, right? He had the best schooling, right? You know, this kid at 2 years old, because I invested in him, I have enough money invested in him. He could count to 100 at 2 years old. Honestly, count to 100 in both English and Spanish. The kid's bilingual because I got his nanny. I told him I pay her a lot of money, right? And I told him, listen, first of all, he has a nanny, right? Like that was unheard of on the south side of Chicago where I'm from. But he has a nanny who takes care of him during the day instead of having to go to preschool with all the other kids getting sick and stuff, right? I told her never speak to this kid in English. All right, I want him to learn Spanish. So now he's bilingual. He already has a huge head start in life. And he doesn't know it yet, but he's set for life already. If I ever die, unlikely, but if I ever die, he'd never have to work again in his life, or at least never have to worry about money because I'm relentless, right? So sometimes you have to give up the momentary pleasures for the future, right? Remember, sometimes it's cruel and unpleasant, right? But I know that's the best for him because my dad was like that. My dad, here's a part of my origin story that I kind of leave out, right? As I told you, I grew up poor, South Side Chicago. I remember one of the games, me and one of the lady who's babysitting me, she lived in my building. And she had a son who was a little older than me. One of the games we used to play was we would try to crush as many roaches as we could. I mean, I'm just telling you what kind of poverty I grew up in, right? And my dad was always gone. He was always going out of town hustling, trying to build his business. He was an entrepreneur. He was hustling. Mom didn't have a car or whatever. I told you she was robbed at gunpoint with me. Like the guy put a gun in my face when I was 4 years old to steal my mom's purse, right? This is what I grew up in. But he was always gone hustling. By the time I got sent away to military school, he became a millionaire. Right. I didn't see him a lot. He lived in the same house with me, but I didn't see him a lot when I was little. And I'm sure that hurt him and it hurt me too. But man, he became a millionaire by the time I was in high school. Now, I didn't benefit from it because, you know, the only benefit I got, I didn't have to pay for college. He paid for it. But then by the time I got out of college, he had messed up all the money and then shot himself in the head. Right. And there was no money left. Right. But what I did see was being relentless. Man, you can go from poverty. You can go from the black ghetto to being a millionaire, and you can go back again if you relax on your standards like my dad did. But man, I learned that part, and now I'm gonna teach that to him. Right now, the person who may be stopping you is you. You may look in the mirror, and you may be saying, "Oh man, I can just have one day. I deserve it." Right? I deserve it. I can relax. I can lower my standards. Listen, standards don't get lowered. You either have them or you don't. Right? If you defy your standards, they're gone. You have to be relentless with this, right? Oh, I can stay up today. I can go to this party. No, you can't, because it's going to be easier to do the next time. Think about any diet you've been on and you fucked it up. What happens? It started with just one piece of cake or just this one thing, or today I'm off. I'll start again Monday. And what happens? Next thing you know, you all out of shape. The first step is the worst step. The first step is the worst step. You cannot lower your standards. And sometimes it's painful. And sometimes you miss out on a lot of things. For example, anyone who knows me, all right, let's talk about something real quick. Let's talk about something real. You all have a vice, maybe a few vices. It may be something you don't want no one to know about. Maybe you drink too much. Maybe you like to do certain drugs. Maybe you watching porn. There's something that you do that you love. and maybe you don't even want people to know about it. Everyone has one. Everyone has a dark side. Everyone has that. All of you. We're all adults here. Let's try to be mature. My dark side has always been women. I love women, not in a misogynistic way. I mean, I really love them. Like if women didn't exist, I don't think life would be worth living. They are the most wonderful thing on the planet. Women, I love them so much, but the way that manifests itself in a compulsive way, I just love women too much, right? Well, how does that relate to sacrifice? Let me explain to you. And I'm not trying to be misogynist. I'm not trying to. I think women are fantastic and amazing. I'm not one of these guys who like hates women and talks crap. No, I love women, right? For example, now remember, I love women. Let's go example. This girl, you know what I'm saying? I became cool with her. She gave me a number. And she invites me out. Now, girls who look like this typically don't shoot their shot, but she's inviting me out with her friends. And this is a long time ago, way before I had a girlfriend or anything, right? Back when I was single, right? At 9 p.m. Well, I go to sleep at 10, right? So what I say, I'll wake up crazy early, so that's too late for me. I'm not going to be able to go. Thanks for inviting me. Bam. Girls like this never, listen, she might not be everyone's cup of tea, but I think this woman is phenomenal, personally. I think she's a phenomenal 10 out of 10. I met her in person once. She really looks like that. It's not just a filter or Photoshop. She really looks like that. I said no. You understand how hard that was for me? In my 20s, I wouldn't have been able to do that. In my 20s, any girl just look at me the right way, man. I'm dropping everything for her, right? Because I love women. I think women are so incredible, right? And just anything to spend time with them, it was my priority. And that's why I did, and that's what's holding me back. That's why I didn't become a millionaire until my mid-30s, right? In my 20s, I would not have been able to write this sentence to this woman. No, I would not have been. But this is what it's called relentless. Some in the 20s, I would have said, man, one night won't hurt me, but it will, because the first step is the worst step. It's not a standard if you relax on it. Let me show you the cost of being relentless. The cost of being relentless is people will get upset with you. People in your life, right? People say, oh, you're so obsessed. You're obsessed. People are going to say that, right? People, you may lose some friends, man. I'm going to be honest with you. There's a cost to success. You may lose some friends, right? You may experience FOMO, right? People, especially if you go on the internet and you see all your friends out at the hookah lounge or whatever, yeah, you experience, you working, it's going to look like they're having way more fun than you, right? It's going to look like other people are having way more fun than you. And they probably are in that moment. It's probably doesn't just look like that. It probably is, right? Sometimes you're going to be lonely, man. Sometimes you're going to be lonely, right? This is the cost of being relentless, right? But remember, we're going for elite. You're not going for regular. You got to hold the standard. I'm only asking you to hold the standard for 90 days, though, right? You don't have to do it forever like me, right? I have big, crazy goals, right? I have big, crazy goals. You just want to make $10,000 a month. That's nothing. You just got to focus for 90 days. Can you do that for 90 days? Can you hold yourself to a higher standard for 90 days? Really hold yourself there? Or are you cool being like these people, right? Are you cool being like these guys, right? Less than $1,000 in your savings. Are you crazy? Right? You want to be like them, or you want to be relentless? Because relentless, right? The cost is all of this. But what do you get from being relentless? Oh man, anything you want in life, man. You get anything you want in life from being relentless. Really holding yourself to a standard, right? A real standard. Because listen, success is the most demanding mistress you will ever encounter, right? Right. And I understand that greatness is not for everyone. Success is not for everyone. But if you're willing to stick with me, if you'll listen to what I have to say, if you will really pay attention to what's in this video, if you're doing this, if you're here, it's because you want something tremendous in life. You want to stand out from everyone else. You want to be more than other people even think it's possible. You want to literally stand outside the norm. And if that's the case, you got to remember what Albert Einstein said. Only one who devotes himself with his whole strength and soul can become a true master. For that reason, mastery deserves all of a person, right? If you want to be great, if you really want to be great, the only thing that's going to separate you from all these other assholes who are just talking and never do anything is if you give yourself over completely. If you let that obsession, right? If you let that love completely consume you, if you can do that, then that's the only shot you have at greatness. That's the only shot you have, man. Frank Knopfler said, don't bend. Don't water it down. Don't try to make it logical, but rather follow your most intense obsessions mercilessly. Can you do that? Can you become mercilessly obsessed? Can you let your goals occupy your mind to where all logic and all reason is out the window, and the only thing that matters is if you accomplish your goals? Will you hold yourself accountable? Are you prepared? Are you prepared to hold yourself to a higher standard than ever before? Because if you are, there's nothing you can't fucking do, man. I'm telling you, if you're willing to take responsibility and transform yourself as a human being, transform your life for yourself and your family, and give yourself over to becoming great. If you give yourself over to that obsession, man, there's nothing you can't do. You have to wake up and consistently wake up and understand exactly what you're building for, and you have to build towards it with a relentlessness that other people think is fucking mania. You must be so relentless that other people can see only madness in what you do. Can you push yourself to that level? Because if you can, the world will bend to your will. And remember, Leo, at the end of the day, you're only going to go as far as you're willing to fight for. And if you're willing to fight all the way, then you'll go all the way. You'll set a new bar. You will define what is possible. You will become a beacon of hope. You will become the thing that other people look to as the standard. And it starts with being relentless, man. It starts with being relentless. And sometimes being relentless is going to be cruel and unpleasant. At least people will see it that way in the short term, but in the long term, they'll look at you and they'll be like, damn, I wish I was like him. I wish I was like him. They might just call you lucky, but you'll know the truth. And I'm not asking you to give up everything forever. I'm just asking you to give me 90 days. Give yourself 90 days. Give your goals 90 days. 90 days to accomplish your goals. Can you do that? Can you put aside momentary pleasure for 90 days so you can live the life of your dreams? I don't think you'd be here if you couldn't. I don't think you'd be here if you couldn't. And I'm going to help you get there. Just 90 days. Just give me 90 days. If you want more than 10,000 a month, we got to stay doing it like me. But, man, just 90 days, man. 90 days, we can change your whole life. I promise you. But you got to be relentless, right? And to do that, though, it's also going to take a lot of energy. And that's what we're going to start to in the next video. How to get the most out of yourself, right? You got to have energy for that. Let's get into it.